The hammer's final strike echoed across the still lake, a sound as satisfying as a door locking shut. I'd spent a year rebuilding my grandfather's old lodge on Lake Serenity, a quiet corner of Michigan where the pines whispered secrets and the water held memories. The lodge wasn't just wood and nails, it was my sanctuary, a haven for veterans like me, a place to heal from scars the world couldn't see. My name's Jack Harlan, a retired Army captain, and I'd poured my soul into this place. But when a power-hungry HOA president decided my lodge was her prize, she didn't just cross a line, she ignited a war. This is the story of how I fought back and won. The lodge sat on a half-acre of family land, passed down since the 1960s, long before the gated community of Crestwood Pines sprouted up across the road. I'd rebuilt it from the ground up, new cedar walls, a stone fireplace, a wide porch facing the lake. It wasn't fancy, just sturdy, with a sign above the door, Serenity Lodge. I opened it to veterans, guys I'd served with, men and women chewed up by war and spit out by cities. They came for free, or for whatever they could spare. It wasn't a business, it was a promise. Trouble started on a crisp October morning. I was stacking firewood when I noticed a woman standing across the road, clipboard in hand, staring like she was appraising a foreclosure. She was in her 50s, with a tight bun and a smile that didn't reach her eyes. I waved, but she just scribbled and walked away. That was my first glimpse of Linda Grayson, the newly elected president of the Crestwood Pines Homeowners Association. I'd heard whispers about HOA control freak who treated the neighborhood like her personal kingdom. My land wasn't part of their HOA. It was county registered, free and clear, no shared utilities, no rules about mailbox colors. I thought she'd leave me alone. I was wrong. A week later, a gold-embossed envelope arrived, reeking of lavender and arrogance. It was from the Crestwood Pines Community Council, announcing that my lodge had been designated a community asset. They claimed it was a lakefront recreational facility and expected me to hand over the keys for coordinated community use. The letter even invited me to a welcome reception. I read it twice, laughed, and called my lawyer, Tom Whitaker, a former Marine with a voice like gravel and a temper to match. He sent a response that could have stripped paint, citing my deed, tax records, and a clear message, back off. I figured that'd be the end of it. But Linda wasn't the type to retreat. A second letter came, this time from Grayson and Associates, her late husband's law firm. It demanded I transfer access to the lodge, citing zoning ambiguities and community utility rights. It threatened administrative enforcement if I didn't comply by Friday. Tom called it legal fanfiction and fired back with a cease and desist, but the HOA didn't stop. They set up orange cones and a fake road maintenance sign on the county road to my property, blocking deliveries and guests. I was on septic, no sewer line existed, but a worker just shrugged and said, HOA's paying me to stand here. Then it got worse. One morning, I found an envelope taped to my door, declaring my lodge an unpermitted recreational dwelling that violated HOA fire codes that didn't apply to me. 2 HOA minions in khakis showed up with clipboards, demanding to inspect my property. I gave them 30 seconds to leave before I introduced them to my shovel. They ran. But Linda escalated. She filed a complaint with the county, claiming my lodge encroached on HOA land by 20 feet. They submitted a doctored plat map, shifting the boundary just enough to make my lodge look like it sat on their turf. My grandfather had marked those lines with iron stakes, county stamped, but their map was a lie. Tom filed an emergency rebuttal with GPS surveys and photos, but the complaint froze my ability to host guests. My sanctuary was under siege. I left for a weekend to visit a buddy in Lansing, locking the lodge and setting the security system. When I returned, my gate was chained shut with a sign, property under Crestwood Pines, HOA oversight. My stomach dropped. I climbed the fence and saw lawn chairs on my porch, my grill smoking, music blaring from inside. 3 HOA members were lounging in my lodge like it was their vacation home. One, a guy with a fake tin named Roger, grinned and said, Jack, didn't expect you back so soon. We're just setting up for community use. They'd moved my grandfather's lantern, turned my service medals face down, and hung a banner, Crestwood Pines Lake Club. I pulled out my phone, started recording, and said, This is my property. You're trespassing. Get out, or we'll go to court. They laughed, waving their fake map. I called Tom and the sheriff. The deputy took a report, but said it was a civil matter until the zoning issue was resolved. Tom filed for an emergency injunction, and I got drone footage proving my property lines. A friend at the county leaked HOA emails, including one from Linda saying, "He's ex-military, not litigious. Move fast." That was blood in the water. We filed a criminal complaint for fraud, trespass, and conspiracy. The story hit the local paper, the Lakeview Herald, with a headline, "HOA seizes Veterans Lodge with fake maps." Veterans shared it online, and Stand With Jack trended. The pressure was on, but Linda doubled down, renaming my lodge the Crestwood Lake Club and hosting events there. The courtroom was tense, smelling of old coffee and polished wood. Judge Margaret Ellison, a no-nonsense woman with a reputation for shredding bad arguments, presided. Tom presented our case, the real plat maps, drone footage, Linda's emails, and my video of HOA members partying in my home. Linda's lawyer, a slick guy in a tailored suit, claimed community interest and zoning overlays, but Judge Ellison wasn't buying it. "You don't get to rewrite property lines because you want lake access," she snapped. She ordered the HOA to vacate in 48 hours, banned further interference, and referred Linda for criminal investigation. Linda stood, pale but defiant, saying, "We acted for the community." Ellison shut her down. "You stole a man's home. That's not civic duty." The sheriff cleared the lodge. I found my grandfather's nameplate in a plastic bag, scratched but whole. The civil case followed. We sued for trespass, fraud, defamation, and lost income. The HOA's former treasurer testified that Linda forged board approvals and paid off zoning officials. The judge awarded me $700,000 in damages, with Linda personally liable. The criminal case charged her with forgery, conspiracy, and unauthorized access. In court, she broke down, admitting she misunderstood boundaries. When the bailiff cuffed her, the room went silenta heavy, righteous quiet. She avoided jail with a plea but was banned from civic roles for life. I rebuilt the lodge, fixing scratched floors and broken hinges. I hung a new sign, "Private property, by invitation only." Veterans returned, including a young Marine who stood on the dock and said, "This place feels like home." Crestwood Pines got new leadership, a quiet guy named Ed who brought an apology and a promise to rewrite their bylaws. I didn't trust them, but I nodded. The lodge was mine again, a refuge for those who needed it. A local paper ran a final story. Veteran reclaims his sanctuary. I framed it next to my grandfather's nameplate. The fight wasn't just about land, it was about power, greed, and the right to a place that's yours. Linda thought she could bully her way to control, but she underestimated me. The lodge stands now, quiet and strong, a testament to what you can hold on to when you fight. What do you think? Have you faced injustice or power abuse in your own life? Share your thoughts in the comments, especially about how far you'd go to protect what's yours. Let's hear your stand.